All right, so this one is going to be how to remove a background, but a little bit different than what we did last time because this is going to be using what Phot Pea calls a raster mask. It's what Photoshop calls a layer mask. Basically, the difference between this one and last time is we were talking about in Photoshop and in Phot Pea, there are ways to do things that are destructive versions of editing something and then non-destructive ways of editing something. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically think about like if you had a clear piece of like acetone, or not acetone, but a clear film that you put over a picture, okay? And then as you're drawing on that, you're not making any changes to the original picture. You can do whatever you want to sitting on top of it, and then when you move that piece of film off of it, or a piece of glass, okay? If I had a picture in a frame and I'm drawing on that glass that's in the frame, then it wouldn't be editing, I wouldn't actually be changing the actual photo that's underneath, okay? So that's what we're talking about here, okay? So I'm going to Phot Pea, bring myself up here, hello. I'm going to Phot Pea, and that's good, and let's go ahead and close out all these little things down here. Bye-bye. All right, and I'm going to, just like we learned last time, before we make our new project, I want to go ahead and copy my picture, okay? Now, if you did this assignment using something else, that's fine. I'm using okra because I just planted some okra and I want some okra, so that's what we're using. So if this is my picture, I'm going to right-click, copy image for Chromebook people. It's that 2-finger click. Go back over here to Phot Pea, and now I'm going to make the new project. I'm going to call this one okra because I'm not original. And remember, so this right here, that 1024 by 686 is exactly the size of this, 1024 by 686. All right, it looks at what's on your clipboard and makes a document that size. Create, and we're gonna paste just like we did before. All right, so what we did last time was we selected all of the design and then made a new layer, leaving that other stuff behind, okay? On this one, what we wanna do is, we're going to go to our quick select tool, just like last time. I'll go to the magic wand, quick selection, and this time I'm going to select the outside. Let's see, I'm going to select all of this. And then, but that's great, but then I ended up picking up all of my okra, and I got all this over here. It selected like everything. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want my okra selected. So if you hold down Alt, if you look up here at the top, you'll see how this changes up here. When you hold down Alt, now I am minus that selection. So I'm taking away from that selection, all right? And I can zoom in and try to clean up some of this. Maybe don't hold Alt. Let's see what that does. Last time I did this, it kind of freaked out a little bit, all right? Okay, so that's close enough because the good thing about what we're about to show you is how you can make changes to that little part. There's a little section down here that I didn't get everything quite that I wanted. That's okay. So we're gonna go down here to the bottom right, and you have an option to choose Add Raster Mask. And so I'm going to click that, and I did the opposite. Let me do Control Z. I need to select inverse. Okay, so I'm going to pick the opposite of that. So I'm going to go to layer mask again. There we go. That's what I wanted. If I drop my background back here, I can see now what that looks like. Okay, and that's fine and everything, but you know what, man? I missed this stuff down here. That's not. I didn't want to leave all of those pieces behind. All right, so here's what you can do. The layer mask, everything that is black is hidden, and everything that is white is visible, okay? And so you can use your paintbrush tool and just go back and paint black on the layer mask to erase pieces, okay? But you're not erasing them, you're just hiding it from the picture here, all right? So I'm gonna go over here and choose my paintbrush. I'm gonna make my paintbrush be black. For my main color, I'm going to zoom in on what I'm working on. And this right here, if you want this bracket to be bigger, smaller, you can use the brackets that are just above the enter key. The left one makes it smaller, the right one makes it bigger. All right, so I am painting with black on my layer mask. Make sure you're painting on your layer mask. Do not paint on your picture. Okay, and I can erase. And I'm not erasing, I'm just hiding stuff. All right. So, and you can go through and take the time to clean up all of this, and you say, oh man, I accidentally erased something that I didn't mean to erase. That's why it's good that we're not erasing things. Sorry about that. That's why it's good that we're not erasing things. So I can go back with my white paintbrush, and as I paint with white, it will reveal those pieces. Okay, so there's my okra, looking good. right? I like that. I'm fine with that. I will show you one thing before I go on. One way that you can use this, you don't have to do this for this assignment, but one way that you can use this, let's say that the background pieces, I want to bring that back, but not all the way back, all right? You can actually paint with opacity, okay? And we've done stuff in the past where opacity is how well you can see through something. So a wall is not transparent. It's completely opaque. A window is very transparent, all right? And so somewhere in between that, you can modify. So this design, I can go in with a paintbrush, and I can change what my opacity is. Let me just drop that down to like, I don't know, 70, all right? And I'm going to paint with white. I had it right the first time. I'm going to paint with white. So as I'm painting, you will see this background picture come back, but not 100%, right? And so, and I can do, oh, good grief. Sorry, guys. All right, so that is how we can do that. So last thing I want to do, forget about the opacity in the paintbrush. That's something that I could honestly do another video on things you could do with that, okay? Last thing I want to show you is now I want to bring in another picture. Got some picture of some dirt here. Got my garden going. Right click, copy image, come back over here, and I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to paste that on there, okay? And I need to make that picture just a little bit bigger. And then what I need to do is, that's great, but I can't see it because that is on top, all right? So what I'm going to do is click layer 2 and just drag that down so that it's underneath it, all right? And now I have my okra with my layer mask sitting on top of this other picture, all right? So how to create a new layer, how to do something with the raster mask. I'll try to use the correct terminology, but I'll often just use the Photoshop term also, all right? So how to do a layer mask, how to paint with the layer mask, changing your selection with Alt. Okay, all of that stuff is being done right here, and then how to create a new layer, paste a picture, and then change how those layers are arranged, okay? So that's what we're doing on this assignment. And then just like last time, file, save as PSD, because if you send me a Photoshop file, I'll be able to look at this and see how you set that up. Make sure you did the layers. You didn't just get a PNG file. You actually got a file and turned it into a transparent background using the layer mask, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Thanks.